In this lesson, we're going to look at how to access the music that's in iTunes, or if you're using Catalina, it will be in the Music app. Also, we're going to look at how to access the still images and the videos that are in Photos, or as it was previously known, iPhoto. Before you start though, you do need to make sure that you have a project in your timeline. Coming up to your browser, make sure you double click the project that you want to add your photos or music to, and that will bring it up in the timeline and you'll be able to play it. So let's get into it. First of all, to access them, we need to come to the icon at the top of the screen here, and this will open up sound effects, music, and photos. Let's do the photos first, so we can select on that. And this will bring up all the images that we have in our photo library. So we can see all photos here. We can go to My Albums or Albums or ones that you've shared. If we select all photos here, that's the total photo library. So we can select over here and look at all photos, all videos, or favorites. So let's go to Photos. And then once we're in Photos, we can then access our albums. And these are the albums here. You can hover through them to see what's in them. If you select a particular one, double clicking it, that will open up those photos. And you can then select individual photos here. So selecting one, you'll see it's outlined in yellow. Select another with the Command key down, and select another with the Command key down. If I was to select this one here with the Shift key down, then everything from there to there is selected. So the ones with the yellow outline can either be dragged to the timeline, or you can use the E key or Q key. E key putting it into the timeline, Q key putting it above the timeline, and the W key inserting it in the timeline. If you've been detailed about how you've labeled your photos in iPhotos or Photos app, then you will be able to search those titles by coming up here. Let's click to the search and we'll go Paris. And there are the items from Paris. If we search in here by Rome, then it will show us the photos that we've labeled as Rome. So that's looked at the photos. Now let's look at the music from iTunes, or if you're using Catalina, now known as the Music app. To access that, the same location up here, and this time when you move over directly to the right hand side, you'll bring up all of your albums that you have in your iTunes library. So you can select any of those from there. That listing will then show up on the left hand side here, and you could play through those if you want to. The other interesting thing here is that if you have a number of your own sound effects, you could build those into that iTunes library, and you'll notice here that I've got some audio effects and some ambient sounds, and there they are listed there from the various companies that I've downloaded them from. That's the SFX seller grouping there. Again, you can select here if we go to all music, and if we type in here Elvis, then it'll go directly to any of the Elvis music that we've got in our iTunes. Again, we can simply drag those into Final Cut and drop them into the timeline. Or if you want to, you can click on them as you can do an iPhoto and use the Q key, and that will bring it in underneath at the location of the playhead. And finally, we have here the sound effects. Sound effects are provided by Apple as an extra. Download these after you've purchased Final Cut, and they show here and are installed on your system rather than in the iTunes library. And so then we have a number of different types of items here, like impacts and crashes. If we want to have one that's, say, a bullet, then there are just the bullet ones. Again, they could just be dragged into your timeline, or you could use the Q key to bring those in as well.